Well, if at first you don't succeed, run for mayor again. Today, businessman Willie Wilson announced he will once again challenge Rahm Emanuel for the Chicago mayor's office. Turning to campaign 2019, mayoral candidate Willie Wilson.
Everyone is talking about our next guest, millionaire mayoral candidate Willie Wilson.
Wealthy businessman Willie Wilson says things haven't gotten better under Rahm Emanuel, who promised change.
And they did change. Yeah, for the worse. But they changed for the worse.
All right, well, I have the privilege of reading to you, Dr. Wilson, on behalf of the Puerto Rican Committee of Chicago and Owens 15th Annual Ex-Offenders Banquet, Dr. Willie Wilson, in appreciation for your untiring efforts, outstanding contributions, and your unselfishness. You are an outstanding leader. May God continue to bless you, sir. On behalf of the Puerto Rican Committee.
Quiero decirles a todos que la Casa Puertorriqueña y la comunidad puertorriqueña y latinos en Chicago estamos con el señor Willie Wilson 100%. Como otra persona por ahí que después de 8 meses fue a Puerto Rico. Él rápido que le dijimos, rápido dijo sí, él no dijo que no. Muchas gracias.
Again, I want to tell everyone, please vote. Your vote does count for Dr. Willie Wilson to win with the blessings of God before us.
Our guest today, the bio goes on, went on to become owner of 5 McDonald's. Number 2, founder and producer of the first nationally syndicated African-American gospel entertainment program on commercial television, now in its 20th year. And number 3, recently won an Emmy for his performance on Sing Station for Best Performing Artist in 2012.
This man has the ability to respond whether it's Jewish, black, white, Baptist, whatever. So the reality is, this is the hope bridging the bridge between white people, black people. The reality is, this is the guy.
If you keep running people out of Chicago, then Chicago is just going to be for the wealthy, all right?
Bad taxes, water taxes, tax that you walk down the street, tax that you come out your house.
And what's more, Wilson and his supporters insist Chicagoans are fed up with both street crime and police misconduct.
And that is the only reason we are supporting Dr. Willie Wilson, who has proven over and over that he is a man of the community. And he's going to bring the communities together, and I believe and trust in him that he will have an open door policy where everyone can walk in and present their issues, and he's the guy who's going to change this city and make it better for all our communities. And here we go. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, in addition to that wonderful video introduction, we just have a few words to say about Willie Wilson. He's a remarkably successful businessman. I don't know if you heard, he owned 5 McDonald's at one time. By the way, I worked at McDonald's when it was $1 an hour. You could get a franchise for $30,000, but I didn't take advantage. Okay, anyhow, Mr. Wilson is a great humanitarian, known for his extraordinary acts of kindness. He's helped homeowners keep their homes. He has bailed low-level defenders out of jail, provided food and medicines for senior citizens, and passed economic fairness and bail reform laws. Willie Wilson believes that inclusion is the key, and together is the way. He has a golden heart turned towards the people. So let's give him another welcome to the City Club.
Thank you, sir.
All you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me start out by thanking the Lord for his amazing grace and his unspeakable gift. And to all of the bishops who's here today and all of the pastors and friends that is here today, and my special thanks to the City Club Board of Directors that allowed me to have this opportunity to come and to address you on this special day. I want to thank also and recognize my lovely wife for 20-some years, Jeanette, who's here. Stand up. I want to thank my staff and all of them here today, and I want to just kind of talk about my vision of the city of Chicago. We must be the change that we want to see in the world. And so we must see the change, so that means we must get involved and start to do some things to help make life better for all Chicagoans. Not just the white community, but the Hispanic community and the African American community and Asian community and other. Today we have with us some of the coalition of the Latino community, and I want to ask all of them to stand. I ask all of them to stand up. Thank you. Thank you so much. And all of these here, nice young men and young ladies are here today, and our pastors of the different areas in Chicagoland area. And let me also ask the African American pastors also to stand up, please, too, all right? Latino. Thank you. My pastor, Reverend Darrell Larson of the church that I go to, is here as well. And my pastor as well. And I want to take and thank the the Asian community who's here as well, and other nationalities who happen to be here as well. But I want to thank all of you all for your kindness. Now, you know, when I speak, I don't know nothing else but being myself, all right? All right. And so I'll just stay in what I'm comfortable with, all right? Just being myself. I decided to run for mayor of the city of Chicago because the present mayor closed 50 schools in the minority community. That's what got me into the race in the first get-go. I thought it was, and still today, I think it was wrong to close any amount of schools that's significant of the citizens of Chicago. Nobody else would run, any more politicians, no more business people would run. And I started complaining. I said, you know what? I'm going to get out here and do it myself, right? And that's what got me to this particular point in life. And I must say this too, this time, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the next mayor of the city of Chicago, all right? And we will win this here with the help of your vote and the help of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And let me say this too, is that I would never ever deny from where I'm come from. And for those who don't know me, I am a sharecropper, 11 sisters and brothers. We was raised picking cotton and chopping cotton for 20 cents per hour, 11 sisters and brothers. Ran away from home at age 13. Never been back to school, never got a BA in anything. My only BA I have, as you know, is born again, all right? And I think as a people, we have to look at change through the eyesight of everybody's human being. Yeah, I don't believe that there's no particular white race or black race or Latino and Asian race. I believe we're all human beings as a race, you know. And when we was raised hard time down south. So coming from 20 cents per hour, we started a company from 20 cents per hour to today. We do a little bit shy of $63 million today, and we're debt-free spiritually and financially. And that means that I don't have to bow down to nobody. And then that means that I can run for this office freely for the people and citizens of Chicago, which is what I'm going to continue to do, right? As you know, I am a business person. I am definitely pro-business. I am definitely pro-business. In order to have jobs, you must have business, you know. And I'm also pro, first of all, of the community. I think we got to bridge this gap together. I'm not pro-taxes. I can tell you that right now. You know, how can you raise taxes on people who cannot pay taxes? I believe when you raise these taxes, you run businesses out of the state of Illinois and out of Chicago. And we have to fix it. We can't just talk about what's happened, but we have to put a plan together how we fix this problem that we have. Now, I've been in business long enough to know that there's ups and there's downs. My first year when I invested into a manufacturer, glove manufacturer down in a place called Tullahoma, Tennessee. And we actually lost $12 million in 1 year. And we had to come back and balance it out. But we didn't balance out with taxpayer dollars, we balanced out my own dollars, right? We had to balance it out. And we had to struggle and get it done. And we got it done. I think that to run people out of their home for taxes is wrong. I think that we gotta get rid of the red light camera that plague our community, all right? I think in order to get money into new revenues into the city, you're gonna have to come up with new ideas. You're gonna have to come up, we did it last time when we talked about how you fix the city. Well, I mentioned then, I still mention today, and I know we got a lot of pastors here, but I don't gamble, but we need a casino in Chicago, all right? And I tell you one thing, that when I go over in Hammond, Indiana, I see a lot of you all in them casinos over there, all right? Yeah, I see you because I'd be up in there going to watch the people who's singing now, you know. I think casino would bring in new revenues. Bring in maybe about $1 billion or $2 billion a year. We can use that and for taxes. I think we need to legalize marijuana. That can bring in, you know, billions of dollars a year. All right. I know we got medicine in here, but some of the time, I know probably you all have one-time smokers yourself. All right. But these are misdemeanor offenses and everything that you cause here. Bringing in that, you help pay the pension of the people who lost their pension, the police department, the school teachers, the fire department, things that help pay their pension, take care of schools. I think we got to open up Mag Field back up, all right? That did $500 million roughly right there where we had that. And we got to get more revenues in here. But you know the thing that I like to see, equality in contracts and job for all its citizens, right? And we want to work to fix that and work together as a team. Right now, if we receive in some of our community, the Latino community, the African American community, and some of the other communities in Chicago, and even some of the lower income Caucasian community as well, is that we must have equality in contracts and job which reflect all 77 communities in Chicago equally and fairly. And we must stop the violence. We got to stop this violence. The violence that is in Lawndale area and Inglewood and those particular areas. Well, look, we all in this thing together. It eventually come down to Magnificent Mile. You know, it eventually come down. How do you fix it? We need to take those revenue that we just talked about generating everything, and we need to take the tip dollars and things of that nature, put the resources into the community. That's how you fix it, all right? If you starve a community to death, and there's no place to go, it's create problems. We have in most of our lower income community, the people use drugs and things of that nature, and they get arrested. Got a lot of them out of jail, and got the bill passed to the governor for misdemeanor and non-violent. They caught using the drugs, but they never arrest the people who bring the drugs in. Right? Some ain't quite right about that. I found my space in life. I found my call in life. And my call in life is helping those who I don't want to pay me back. That's my call in life. My cause in life is to take then integrate Chicago citizens as united as one. I don't care whether you're white, black, Latina, Asian American. I came from the Jim Crow days when we used to be down south. We used to walk on different sides of the street. I've been through all that. And I've been through areas that when my father would take us down the street, a 3 or 4 year old white young man or young lady, my father walked there and they had to have us to look down on the ground. We could not look up on them. I understand Jim Crow days. And I understand also I won't be caught in Chicago and Marquette Park after certain hours either, all right? All right. This stuff still exists today, all right? Now, even though back in those days, we would have certain situations to us there, and we got away and got by it. But we would struggle hard, and we work hard when we see the things that goes on today. But you know what? I was still able to come from down south, running away from home. My mother taught me not to dislike any white people because of the color. And I kept that with me all the way to today. I refuse to hate anybody. Right? You all should refuse to hate anybody. Yeah. I want to say this too, that the taxes, the red light camera, the boot on the cars and things of that nature, the taxes, there's taxes everywhere. When you tax businesses, they run them out of the city. So people go to Indiana and other places to shop, you know, buy their gasoline. As you buy gas in your cars, you're gonna buy some eggs, some milk. Those tax dollars is elsewhere. It is wrong. We need to do something about coming out of Chicago. In downtown Chicago, it's gonna cost $70 to $80 just for parking. You know? People cannot afford to even right now today to get from the west side downtown Chicago because they don't have $3 to get the bus. We need all citizens to shop where we want to shop at and keep those tax dollars without going to Indiana and Michigan and those different places. We need to change our direction and change our mind setting. You know, I visit into for the African American who's here today, I visit into the Latino community. Pastor Vidal been taking me there. And we all people. All people. Right now today I go to the churches in our community and we get a chance to speak and say hello. And the Latino community welcomed me there with open arms. And I thank God for them, all right? But there is one thing that I've been disappointed in. When the white politicians come to the African American community, we get in our churches. But I've not been invited I can't get into the Caucasian churches yet. Yeah, I just say it like it is. Because I say it like it is because I don't know no better. All right? And I want you to invite me. Because I want to be able to talk to all its citizens. You know, I want you to invite me there. We serve in Chicago all its citizens. I want to say this too about some of our politicians, you know, done sold Chicago out. When we got the young men and young ladies out of prison, some of them been in there for 3, 4, 5 years for making a left turn on a red light. Didn't have $100 to get out. No politician said nothing. When they passed the tax law, shortening them up from 12 months to down to 8 months, 77,000 homes went on block. As no politician said nothing. I went in my pocket, spent millions of dollars to help bail people out. And then they're gonna call me and get me about giving money away to people on the street and helping people, citizens. Well, I'm gonna continue to give my dollars away to people who cannot pay their taxes. I'm gonna continue to help those who don't have IDs, that cannot get a check because they don't have IDs to cash it into a bank. I'm gonna continue to do that. I broke no laws, you know, but they don't rest at white collar crime and talk about them. I want just to get Chicago on the right track, that we all can be in inclusion, that we all can work together for a common cause. And let me tell you what, we can't put all these things here on Ron Emanuel. We got black politicians, guilty as he is, all right? I just say it like it is, all right? We have to hold all citizens accountable. Many churches that's here today, and we know for right here today, I'll just say it, a lot of our churches have sold us out.
Watch out, police! Say that!
And we must think about this thing. We must make sure that our church within our community can get the grant from the city of Chicago to teach our people in our community different trades that they can learn. We need to put trade back into our schools system. We need to put trade back in our prison system. That we can bring these young men and young ladies up that have a trade. Today, it ain't good enough to have a high school diploma or college or master degree, because if you don't have a trade, what are they going to do? What has happened is that when we need to make sure that we tell our people this election, even tomorrow, to get out and vote. Get out and vote. We need to make sure that our senior citizen should not be looking at whether I got to buy grocery or buy medication. We need to make sure our senior citizen who's stuck in a nursing home, as I visit the nursing home and the senior citizen home, they come and they say, well, Doc, well, can you help me? Hey, they put me in here, they charged my tax, and I couldn't pay tax on my home, so I lost it. Now I'm in the senior citizen home, and they give me food with water in it. And they put me here, but I cannot have the transportation to even to go out of here because I don't have the money. And they take my paycheck. Right. We need to make sure that the senior citizen who cannot afford to ride a bus or the L, to make it free of charge. 90% of those buses as you drive down the street, with the exception of the rush hour, they halfway empty anyway. We need to get rid of these taxes on bag taxes. Now people got to come in the store and can't afford to buy a bag to put their food in it. They're carrying their food down the street in their arms. And they're hurting our businesses. Yes, sir. Yeah. 8 times bag taxes. None of our politicians said nothing. Quan McDonald's, as we know, couple up, but none of our politicians said nothing. A lot of our politicians within our community took, I believe it was $5,000 or something more from this present mayor a month or two ago. Who do you think they're indebted to? They voted 98 to 100% of the time along with everything he did.
Watch out, doctor.
We have to change it. I would not accept a dime from the Democratic Party. I would not accept a dime from anybody who want me to sell out my people. I ask today that if we down here for the Caucasian and other African Americans who has money. A lady last week touched my heart because her lost her son by the police coming in and shot and killed the son and killed the neighbor. She won the award of $1.5 million. The mayor repealed it, and now she's waiting on the money, but they stood out so she's homeless. Last week I went in my pocket and gave her $5,000, my wife and I, so she can get a home, a place to live. None of our politicians said not one word. Now you got a lot, about 8, 12, 15 black politicians jumping in the race now. They ain't got no business in there. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no money, all right? They need to get out of the way. If I ain't have no money, I'd be home trying to take care of my family. No money. I ain't got people lying to the people. Lying to the people. Prep ain't gonna talk about now, she ain't gonna raise taxes when she was just trying to raise sugar tax on everybody. And don't tell me how much sugar I gotta eat. Can't eat. Crazy. Well, I'm saying this here that we got to straighten out. We got work to do. Yeah. We got to cut through the color skin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I go downtown, I live down here too as well. It saddens me to see the building coming up. Every day I look over that building going to 90-some stories. 2 years. Just the other day, I saw all the building coming up. I saw it for the first time, one African American. One. And yet, you look at those license plates, a lot of the people come from Indiana, Michigan. Young men, young ladies from 18 to 25, 50% unemployed. People of color, unemployed. Sadness, condition of Chicago when we look at violence, that's why it exists. We shouldn't be adding more policemen, we should be adding dollars and resources in those communities. And so the people who pass these laws gotta be held accountable. You have to speak up. We got to get our schools back into our community. 50 schools closed down, as I was saying a little while ago, was that a person who has a wheelchair usually rode a wheelchair 5 blocks to school. Today, because they closed the school down, they got rode them 50 or 60 blocks to school. And when the school teachers in the minority community, Latino community, white community, Asian community, a lot of those areas, school teachers got to go in their pocket and buy a book for the student learning. Today, what's going on is that the poor areas is still studying in the past. They don't have a book. They still studying about the Mayflower came over here. And when over in the other area, downtown, the other schools, they got high techs. The truck gonna be driving themselves down the road by themselves. Yeah. How can you catch up if you studied in the past?
Watch out, Willie.
Yeah. So these are human need to be met before there can be any peace in this city. And we must change our focus. We must love our neighbor. I don't think the white man did nothing to us when we were done for our own self. We are our own problem. We can't go and blame it over here and over there. But we must open up fairness, though.
That's right.
We must open up equality on contract and job.
That's right.
For all of its citizens, because those are the tax dollars of the citizen. It is wrong to take the taxpayer citizen dollars on one side of the town and give it on the other side of the town. And get nothing back in return for it. We have doctors, African American, Latinas. We have lawyers and things of that nature as well. We have smart young men and young ladies as well. And this man has stood up here, and I mean, I read me, they get up, get down here and stop talking, all right? But however, we must obey, we downtown. We downtown.
You got some real good questions here. Right?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
So, but anyway, look, I got some questions they want to ask me, and I'm going to try to answer them all. But I'm so glad to be down here talking to y'all.
And we're
Thank you
glad
very
to
much.
have them, aren't we? Willie, we've got more questions than I think we've been asked for the entire year. Okay. This is from Karen Riley, who heads up the Business Leadership Council. Her question is, in a recent CMAP study, Plan 2050, they stated that the city of Chicago is not growing as fast as other cities because of economic disparities between the black community and the city as a whole. When you are mayor, what is going to be the most impactful action you can take?
I think as it related to the economic part of things, what are you, Caucasian female or African American female or male, vice versa, or lesbian, gay, straight or non-straight? We must make sure that the equality exists as related to fairness in contracts and job, and must put together a overseas group that I would take to make sure that fairness is done. Create a task force with community, lawyers, accountant, inspector general, and even the IRS to investigate on a quarterly basis every position in City Hall. If anybody is caught breaking the law, arrest them right on site.
Okay, thank you. I don't know who person didn't put their name on this, but it's a good question, so we'll excuse their being chicken and afraid to put their name on. What's your plan to bridge the gap with millennials? How would you include this community in your new administration? How about women? And what would you do with the existing leaders?
Well,
I just was writing fast. So.
Okay.
Karen Riley for 2.
The young people are obviously different than from what I came up. But we have included them within our administration. In fact, we're also supporting them to run for office today. One of them right here now, stand up, one. Young man right here. And more. What we did do first time, last Monday night, I held a live, what do you call those things, internet? Online, that's what I'm trying to call it, right? I held a live online with the young people. Oh yeah, I got them over there, you know? All right. So I held this here. So Nina put it together and the rest of the crew and some of the young men you see with the camera, they're involved. They're young people involved. But we held that online. Guess what? In less than 1 hour or so, and the very next day, we attracted ideas and questions from them over close to 10,000 young people. Get input. Get input.
Okay, this is from Mr. Charles Gardner, says he's retired, former Roosevelt University trustee. Mr. Wilson, there are so many candidates, including, as you said, 7, 8, 15 African-American candidates. Is there any chance the field will narrow, either by attrition or a combination of candidates? I guess he's referring to a slate.
Well, if you don't narrow it, I'm going to narrow it for them, all right? They're going to fall out by flies, all right? All right? But as I said before, look, who has the experience? Who has the business experience? Who has a proven record?
You do.
Look back at my record. Right? These people are talking about what they gonna do. I say, look at me, what I've already have done. All right? I say, they need to get out of the race before we put them out the race. All right?
As we used to say, the proof is in the pudding, huh, Willie? Okay. This is from Mr. Eric Delibori with Urban Gateways. A little different kind of question, but a very important one. What is your position on public funding for the arts? And of course, today we just learned that that wonderful painting at the Legler Library will be reinstalled for everyone in Chicago and those communities to enjoy. So the question deals with the arts.
I was at the Art Institute in Chicago a few years back with me and my wife, a while back. And we didn't know much about art. I mean, we got our art was picking cotton, you know? That's all we had, all right? And our art was our imagination, all right? But as we began to look at it, there's art come in many forms. Music, you know, flowers. I support it, honest with you. I just like to see, as we think about doing these things together, I like to see the equality in art from all nationalities. I support it. Truly I do.
Okay, thank you. This is from Pastor Jose Acevedo. The pastor would like to know, what kind of help and support do you need from the pastors to help you in bringing change to the city? What can we do instead of what can we get?
Good question. Well, right now we started, we meeting on a weekly basis now. On a weekly basis, we're attracting 250, 300 or more pastors on a weekly basis, putting the signs in the window, calling your friends, supporting us on social media. We ask you to, at the end of your service, to make sure you have the people to vote for the right choice in this candidate. And we just ask one question that you ask the people, join us in making a difference. And look, you can donate to williewilsonformayor.com. You can donate $1 a week or 1 penny a week, and you can help in that way. But understand this here too. If you don't help, it's okay. When I become mayor, I'm gonna help you anyway, all right?
We still have time for a few questions. This is from Bert Howard. Bert, where are you? You here with us? Okay, you're out there, I just can't see. He wants to know, how will you go about bringing the trade schools and the programs that they offered back? And what can, I guess he's a professional certified trainer, may have an MBA. He wants to know, and he says he's ready to serve, so have one of your people catch him before he leaves today. I guess this deals with vocational training and so on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I look at it this way. If you focus on the human being first, that are at the disadvantaged people, that is, you know, give it an example. You got to take grant, create the grant money, invest into the future of our country. And you got to put those grants together and set up trade in schools and churches community center. We must bring in the people to do that with. I suggest would be out of the casino, out of the Megfield, out of the marijuana sales, tax it, and everything. I suggest you take 10% of new revenue come in, use those resources to help not only with the trade within the school, but also families who hit hard time to bail them out. If we can bail out corporation with taxes, why can't we set money aside to bail out our citizens, bail them out?
I've got two very similar questions from two members of the clergy, Bishop Ben Anderson and the Reverend Frank Phillips. I don't know if they've been victimized or what, but they want to know, how are you going to eliminate the red light camera, and when will you do it? How soon after you're elected mayor?
Look, I don't like red light camera because I got a ticket myself, you know? And I figured I didn't run that red light camera, and I was mad about it, so when I got home, my wife showed me the thing why I did run it, you know? But I still didn't like it, because some people cannot afford to pay those tickets, and they put them in jail, and when they put them in jail, they lose their jobs. You got to figure another way out to deal with it, but the first thing that I would do, we got to look at the contracts of those red light cameras. Day one, when that contract expires, it would not be any more red light in Chicago, because I don't want to get no more tickets myself. But we would do it that way. We would eliminate, look at those contracts, and those contract ends. We would not allow such a thing to hamper the needed and to put us in jail. You raise some more dollars that way through $166 a day that it costs to keep a person in jail. And look, so it costs that much, and you can't get bailed out, and the prison and all the uniform and all the other things goes in there. You're not really making any money, but what has happened is that they're giving it to their friends. And how you know that? Because you look at their donor list when they run for re-election, millions and millions of dollars. It's a racket. We'll cut it out. We'll get rid of it. So help me God.
Thank you. This is from City Club member Gabriel Mitchell. She's affiliated with the Angel Flight Marketing Services. The question is, do you think Chicago's business community is ready for an African American mayor? What are your plans to increase the engagement and use of African American businesses within Chicago?
I must say this, whether they ready for an African American mayor or not, they're gonna get one. Whereas I heard this is a free country. And they're gonna get one in another 3 months or so. But the youth, we'll take it and gotten people out of jail. We'll personally have invested, putting youth in business. We'll buy vans, landscaping equipment, and we'll teach in the classes. We'll engage with our youth. The problem is a lot of youth don't have the money, the resources. That's what makes it so tough. You know, we have to create grants to get them into business. After they succeed into business, then they can pay those dollars back. Because this is our future. This is our future. Whether you're black or white or green or yellow, whichever one you happen to be, we still are connected from hip to hip in this thing. And we must take some of that money that you have, put it over here to help us in these foundations. Put them in and help us. I reached out to a lot of the major white corporations last week to ask come and talk to them. I reach out to them. And I'm giving an invitation. Whether they accept it or not, I don't know. But I have reached out my speaker for the my campaign spokesperson. He's white. He right there. You know, Scott. We'll reach out to all the Caucasian business that we possibly can see, so that we can start talking right now. Talking about trade, straighten out the city of Chicago, straighten out this violence from being hijacked up on Lakeshore Drive and things, North Lakeshore Drive, the Gold Course, smashing, snatch and grab. We're in this thing together. I reached out for them. I want you guys to reach out to me. If you're not too afraid, I'm African American. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. Really, you know?
Okay, we have two last questions. This is from someone, Squeam 500, I don't know, can't read. Affiliated with the famous players. It's all about youths. If you could get them to put the guns down, what can you provide for them to pick up?
When I become mayor, they will put the guns down, because we're going to make sure that. We're going to make sure that the dollars that we, economically speaking, equality and job and all contract reflect its 7-7 community proportionally and fairly, put the trade, the training in those particular community so they can pick up jobs that we have to offer them versus picking up the drugs and picking up the guns, right? Nobody wants to be broke in their homes and everything. We got them out of jail, and they said, look, doc, you got us out of jail, just give us a job. We won't mess with drugs. We won't rob nobody. But let me just tell you this, 13-year-old young man came up to me, had these braces on their leg and everything. He said, Dr. Wilson, he said, how do you expect me to put down a gun when my mother is on drugs, my sister's on drugs, and I got a 4-year-old brother in the house, ain't got no food to eat, and I'm hungry. And I'm going out tonight and rob somebody, unless you can replace it with something else. I know what? I told you, man, this here, and the person who brought them to me, three of the guys that brought them in, these guys out of the game, brought people to me. We were sitting with them 1 week, trying to help take care of this problem. The following week, 3 of those same guys were dead. Thing is serious. I asked you to join forces with me to help us all. We'll stop it. We'll put resources there.
Let's hear it for Dr. Willie Wilson. Don't leave yet. Hold on.